everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day of mathematics. Whoop, whoop. Warm-up 35 is on the screen. Let's get started, please. Very similar to the one we started yesterday. Let's see how you do. Copy and go. All right, here we go. It should be just about done. 1A. For 1A, what is our GCF for 12 and 40? Tell your neighbor, GCF for 12 and 40. GCF. All right. Leo, what's our GCF for 12 and 40? So this is 4 times 3, and the other one is 4 times 10. So, since we have multiplication top and bottom, we can identify our giant 1. And that leaves us with 3 tenths. And if you did that by yourself. All right, not bad. Let's go to number 1D. What's GCF for the numerator? Let's see, what is common for both terms? X. That leaves us with 2x plus 1. What's GCF for the denominator? X. And that leaves us with x minus 15. So, since we have multiplication top and bottom, what's our giant 1? The x's, and that leaves us with 2x plus 1 and x minus 15. Number 2, negative 18 and negative 7. What two numbers multiply give me negative 18 that when you combine them give us negative 7? Two numbers that when you multiply them give us negative 18. When you combine them give us negative 7. Negative 9 and 2. Negative 9 and 2. So my factors are x minus 9, x plus 2. All right, let's go to number 3. Is there a GCF? No. So, what number goes on top? Well, what is 4 times 3? That's 12. What number goes underneath? 8. What two numbers multiplied give me 12? When you add them, give us 8. 6 and 2. However, look up. Don't we have this 4 in the front? So we write that above here and here. So, can we reduce this fraction anymore? 4 sixths. Yeah, divide by 2, so that gives us what? 2 over 3, so my factor is 2x plus 3. Can we reduce this one anymore? 4 over 2. Yeah, divide by 2, so it's 2 over 1. So my factor is 2x plus 1. Number 4. Evaluate, well, first solve for y. So that means I need to add 15x. Add 15x. Let me make some space here. That leaves us with negative 3y equals 15x minus 12. Divide by negative 3. Y equals 15x divided by negative 3 is negative 5x. Negative 12 divided by negative 3, that's positive 4. And we're going to evaluate using those, so it's y equals negative 5 parentheses plus 4. I'm going to do that 3 times. All right, so my first value is negative 1. Negative 5 times negative 1 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. Next value is 0. Negative 5 times 0 is 0 plus 4. That is just 4. Last one, negative 5 times 1 is negative 5 plus 4. That's negative 1. Pretty straightforward, yes? Yes, Mr. Q. All right, good. All right, and last but not least, let's go to number 5. for number 5, we did it a special way yesterday. Is that correct? So, and I asked you, let's write the denominators in factored form. So, what two numbers multiplied give me 10? 2 and 5? 2 times 5. What two numbers multiplied give me 6? 2 times 3. Bring down the 8. Bring down the 5. So, question. Look up. What does this denominator have that this one over here needs? The 5. So I need to multiply top and bottom, bless you, times 5. So now, what does this denominator on the right have that this one on the left one needs? A 3. So that means times 3 times 3, top and bottom. And that should give us our denominator. That's the same for both, common denominator. So let's see. 5 times 2 is 10 times 3, that's 30. 2 times 3 is 6 times 5, that's 30. Numerator, 3 times 8, that's 24. 5 times 5, that's 25. So, common denominator is 30. We focus on the numerators. 24 plus 25 is 49. We'll leave it like that for right now. Pretty straightforward, yes? All right, copy the agenda, please. Warm-up 35 is done. Simplify rational expressions. Tonight's home play sheet Super Q, numbers 1 through 15, odds only. Copy that, please. All right, last night's looked something like this, and tonight's looks something like this. Let's go. Once again, just to double check, make sure you get the agenda copied. The code to access the home play, HCF Z3. You turn in your home play from last night. Tonight's is that one. Once again, if the code doesn't work, tell your neighbor where to go to get the home play. YouTube, yes. All right, get a Cornell note ready, please. You don't need a fair model since we already built one yesterday. Our objective for today, I can simplify rational expressions. I can simplify rational expressions. So we're in the middle of practice with this. Like I mentioned before, this is a skill that you should have learned in Algebra 1 and probably in IM 1 or 2, something like that. Yes? Yes, Mr. Q. All right, good. But like I said, I'm going over this like if you've never seen it before. So hopefully it's coming back for some of you, and for some of you it's something new, but you're there. So rational expressions. Thank you for sending your warm-up in. Appreciate that. Did it give you the code already? Oh, no code? Okay, give me a second. Let me give you a code. Send me your warm-up, please. Oh, that's not it. My bad. All right, there's the code. All right, thank you for sending that in. So, we're in the middle of rational expressions. Yesterday, we did a formal introduction. We know what rational expressions are. So, if you were to tell someone in one word what are rational expressions, tell your neighbor one word. One word. Fractions, that is correct. And we saw and filled all this up. Fractions with polynomials. From there, I gave you guys a definition, and we concluded that the denominator cannot equal to 0. That's how we found the excluded value. Yesterday, I gave you some steps. I said not to copy them. I just had them on the screen so we can use these. To find the excluded value, what did we do? We put the denominator equal to 0, and we solved. From there, we simplified the fraction by factoring completely top and bottom, and then identifying giant ones. Yes? All right, so we did this one. this one, that one, that one, this, that, and that. Copy this one. Example 1 Michael Jordan Q. Write that down, please. X squared minus 3x minus 4 over x squared minus 4. And if you notice, they're getting funner by the minute. Let's go. Funner by the minute. All right? So, notice I took away the steps now because I'm assuming you did your practice last night. So, first thing that they asked us to do is what? Identify the excluded values. So we write EV, and then tell your neighbor what to write right there. What do we write right there to get our excluded values? All right, Gio, tell me what to write. X squared minus 4 equals 0. So you take any fraction, set the denominator equal to 0, and you solve to find the excluded value. Okay, so let's do that. Here we go. Since it's not a trinomial, it's a binomial, and it's a difference or subtraction, let's see if we can find the factors. What is square root of x squared? X times x. What is square root of 4? 2 and 2. Since this is a difference of squares, one of them is positive, other one is negative, and we set that equal to 0. From there, the rest is history. Set each one equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0, x minus 2 equal to 0, and solve. Minus 2 minus 2, x equals negative 2, plus 2 plus 2, x equals 2. So my excluded values are negative 2 and positive 2. So just to clarify, what does that mean? Bless you. That means, Mr. Q, that I can use any value, look up please, I can substitute any value for x, except which ones? Negative 2 and 2, is that correct? Because watch, if I substitute negative 2 here, what is negative 2 times negative 2? 4. What is 4 minus 4? 0. How about if I substitute the 2? 2 times 2 is 4, minus 4 is still 0, and this cannot be 0. That's why we need to exclude them. All right? So we're done with that. Let's go now to factoring the numerator and denominator. Here we go. The numerator is a trinomial. How do we factor that? Tell your neighbor. How do we factor this trinomial? We got negative 4 on top, and then negative 3 on the bottom. What two numbers multiply to give me negative 4 that when you combine them give us negative 3? Tell your neighbor. Two values that when you multiply them give us negative 4, when you combine them give us negative 3. All right? Sarah says negative 4 and 1. What is negative 4 times 1? Negative 4. What is negative 4 plus 1? Negative 3. So my factors are, and notice this one doesn't have a number here on the x squared, so I just do x and x. And my two values are negative 4 and positive 1. Are we there so far? Next, how do we factor this one? Oh, we already did, Mr. Q. They're over here. So what are my factors? X plus 2, x minus 2. All right? So now that we have them factored, look at it. Tell your neighbor, do we have any giant ones? Do we have any giant ones, people? No. Therefore, you just box the whole thing. And we are done. All right. All right, copy this next one, please. Example, Power Rangers cube. 5x squared plus 45x plus 70 over x squared minus 49. I'm going to give you a head start on this one. Find me the excluded value, very similar to the one we just did earlier. Give you a head start. Go. All right. All right, help me set this up, please. Tell me what to write. Let's go to this side. How about Daniela? Tell me what to write, Daniela. All right. So when we find the excluded value, we always take the denominator and write it equal to 0. So we write x squared minus 49. Hands if you did that, equal to 0. Yes. Next, we factor. Since it's a binomial and it's a negative, what do? Take the square root of the first. That gives us x times x. Square root of the second. What is square root of 49? 7. Since it's a difference, one of them is positive, the other one is negative, set it equal to 0. From there, set each one of these equal to 0 and solve. So, minus 7, x equals negative 7, plus 7, x equals 7. So my excluded values are negative 7 and 7. It's on top. It's Z7BFH. All right, hands if you got that by yourself. All right, let's go to factor this. This time I'm going to start with the denominator. What's my factors for the denominator? Tell your neighbor. What are the factors for the denominator? Julian, go. X minus 7, x plus 7, and if you don't know where he got that from, they're over here. We did that earlier. Let's go to the numerator. Is there a GCF, guys, that divides each of the terms? Yes, that is what? 5. And that leaves us with x squared plus 9x plus 14. Power Rangers. 14. 9. What two numbers multiply give me 14? That when you add them give us 9. 7 and 2. So I'm going to go this way just to make some room. So bring down the 5. Then you open two parentheses. The x squared becomes x times x. Then we have positive 7 and positive 2. The denominator we have what? This right here. X minus 7, x plus 7. What is my giant 1, people? X plus 7, yeah, because there's multiplication here and here and here. Okay, so that leaves us with 5, parentheses, x plus 2, which is this one, over x minus 7. You want to leave that in parentheses, that's fine. All right, send me your notes. Once again, we're getting enough practice because we're about to get into functions with this. Trying to give you plenty of practice just with expressions. All right, really quick, from 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with this so far? Where are we at? 5, 4s, 10s, 3s, a couple 2s, 3s. Okay, we need more practice. All right, copy this one. Example 2. X squared minus 8x plus 16 over 3x squared minus 12. X squared minus 8x plus 16 over 3x squared minus 12. All right, start with excluded value. Tell your neighbor what to write to get started for the excluded value, please. What do we write? Renzo, get us started. What do I write? 3x squared minus 12 equals 0. Now check this out. Look up. Isn't this a binomial? Yes. Subtraction? Yes. But can I take the square root of 3? No. So that should give us a hint and think. Could there be a GCF for these two terms? What is our GCF? 3. That leaves us with x squared minus 4 equal to 0. However, can't we factor this in the parentheses? Let's check. Square root of x squared is x times x. What is square root of 4? 2 and 2. And since it's a subtraction, one of them is negative, the other one is, and all that equal to 0. So, set each of these factors equal to 0, 3 equal to 0, x minus 2 equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0, and solve. Question, is 3 equal to 0? No, we cross it out. That doesn't work. This one we add 2 to each side. X equals 2. Minus 2 minus 2. X equals negative 2. So, our excluded values are positive 2 and negative 2. Once again, if some of you are still iffy with difference of squares, factoring those binomials, you need to go back and watch that video lesson that we did last week, and under there, and also get any other videos that have factoring so you can get some practice in. All right, let's go to simplifying. Here we go. Numerator. We got 16 on top, negative 8 on the bottom. Tell your neighbor two numbers that when you multiply them give us positive 16, that when you add them give us negative 8. Two numbers that when you multiply them give us positive 16, and when you add them give us negative 8. Negative 4, negative 4, negative 4, negative 4. So my factors are x minus 4, x minus 4. Next, look up. Do we know how to factor this one? Yeah, it's already over here. So it would be 3 times x minus 2, x plus 2. We did that earlier, yeah? All right. Question, do we have any giant ones? No, so you box this, and you're done. All right? Let me send you the screenshot. Send me your example 2q. Example 2q. And that reads 2x squared y minus 50y over 2x squared plus 16x plus 30. All right, we're going to start with excluded values. So before I have Allison get us started, tell your neighbor what to write for us to get started with the excluded value. What do we write for us to get started with excluded value? All right, Allison, what do I write? Equal to 0. Okay. So, look at it. It's a trinomial. Can we do Power Rangers right now? No, because it's got a 2 right there. So, do we have a GCF? It's 2, so that leaves us with x squared plus 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 30 divided by 2 is 15. Now that equal to 0. Next, can we factor inside of the parentheses? Power Rangers. 15 goes on top, 8 goes on the bottom. What two numbers multiply give me 15 when you add them give us 8? 5 and 3 are 3 and 5. So my factors are x plus 3, x plus 5. However, don't forget to bring down the 2. And all that equal to 0. All right, find me the excluded values from there. You should be able to. Minus 3, x equals negative 3. Minus 5, x equals negative 5. So my excluded values are what? Negative 3, negative 5. Are we doing good? All right. So question. Look at the expression. Which one do we have the factors already for? Tell your neighbor. Which one do we already have factors for? The bottom. Where are they at? Oh, right here, Mr. Q. We did that earlier. So therefore, 2x plus 3, x plus 5. However, look at this one. What is GCF, people? Can it be divided by 2? Yes. What else do each of these have? A y. So this would be 2y. So if we took out the 2y, that leaves us with x squared minus 50 divided by 2 is 25, and we took out the y, so that is 25. However, can we factor inside of the parentheses? Yes. Tell your neighbor the two factors for the parentheses. All right, let's see. It's a binomial, yes. Subtraction, yes. So square root of x squared is x times x. Square root of 25 is 5 and 5. One of them positive and the other one negative. And what are our giant ones? Tell your neighbor, giant ones. The 2, yeah, because there's multiplication here and here, so the 2. And what else? X plus 5. So that leaves us with a y times x minus 5 over x plus 3. All right, so we have plenty of time to do the home play in class. Home play for tonight is odds only. There's a play sheet. Now notice for each of these, they don't ask you to do everything that we did for each of the problems. Look at numbers 1 through 3. They just want the excluded value. For numbers 4 through 6, they do want the excluded values and simplified. And from 7 all the way to 15, they just want it simplified. No excluded values for that one. So, let's get to work. Odd numbers. If you want to team up with your neighbor, that's fine. Those of you following on YouTube, just get some practice in. See you guys next time. Peace.